I heard you're a spin instructor, and I just wanted you to have this. Do you wear onesie?
I do not wear ones.
Okay, this one's good. You should try onesies.
I might try it now.
8-year top 25 fast casual executive, president and CEO of Wow Bao, Mr. Geoff Alexander, and most importantly, spin instructor. Look at that. I got this for you. Does this look like you?
Is that supposed to be me?
That's supposed to be you.
I mean, you got good gray going on.
This is someone worked on this for weeks. I heard you're a spin instructor, and I just wanted you to have this. I'll have one for me and one more you can have. What do you think?
I'll put it right back here. Right over there.
Do we like this?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Now, do you wear onesie?
I do not wear ones.
Okay, this looks good. You should try onesies.
I might try it now.
Okay. All right. This is
getting a picture, but I'm afraid what you would do with the picture.
This is coming your way in like 48 hours. All right, we're sending this to you. I hope it's on your wall. I know you have no space left, despite all the words you have, but I hope you make some space there. Maybe on that table right behind you.
Yeah, I'll find a good place for it. Don't worry.
Geoff, how you doing, sir?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. I've begged you for 15 years, and you finally said yes.
I needed you to have more than a couple of listeners.
We are in double digits now. Yes. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining. I feel like it's hard to interview friends because it's just like you're doing it a little bit for yourself and a lot for the audience versus if you meet someone new, you're doing it mostly for yourself and it's different. So it's hard being formal with you this way.
I was afraid you were going to say that we've stopped being friends.
Let's stop being friends so we can have a killer podcast and maybe we pick it back up. Okay. But it has to be damaging the way we ended, like hard to repair.
Don't say that you're recording this. We'll just hit pause.
Yes, we'll hit pause. All right, first question. You did like 20 plus years at Lettuce.
30.
30 years at Lettuce.
Last week was 30 years.
You just your anniversary, and you joined what, like a couple of days right after college, 9 days after college. Is this true?
I joined Lettuce May 24th, 1993. 9 days out of college.
Wow. Who stays at a job that long anymore? What happened? Why did you do it?
What's great about Lettuce is, for those who don't know Lettuce Entertain You, it's a privately held restaurant group based in Chicago. We operate in 6 or 7 states with a number of different concepts. And for me, I've worked on 10 or 12 different concepts. And if you do the straight math, it's basically every 2 years I had a new job. It doesn't really work out that way because now I've done Wow Bao since 2009. So I've been with Wow Bao for 14 years. But prior to that, from 1993 to 2009, I worked on about 7, 8, 10 concepts, which is almost like every 2 years you had a new job, new cuisine, new location, new restaurant, new people to work with, new customers to deal with. So that keeps you fresh, that keeps you invigorated, that keeps you, hungry for more. Why
stay with them for that many years? Because I'm sure you got, every couple of years or every couple of months, someone else was like, hey, come join us. Why did you say, I'm staying, I have more to do? What was it about Lettuce?
Richard Melman, our founder, and Kevin Brown, our CEO, are two of the most impactful and fantastic mentors I've ever had. I've learned so much. And Lettuce Entertain You is really a college course for entrepreneurs. You get an opportunity to be your own boss and really take responsibility. Now, that being said, and to be very frank with those that are listening, I got very unhappy at Lettuce at one point. My career wasn't moving. It wasn't going the direction I wanted it to. I didn't feel like I was having success. And I was actually out interviewing. Back in 2015, 2016, late 14, I started interviewing with other companies. And through that interview process, I got introduced to John Shulkin and Antonio Gracias of Valor Equity Partners. I thought I was on an interview meeting. Maybe they thought we were just meeting to become acquaintances. But from that exchange, they ended up being the private equity group that purchased Wow Bao. And now I've become their partners, and Lettuce is still involved, but it opened up a new door for me to really expand my career in a way I wasn't able to before.
How small was Wow Bao at the time?
We had 5 restaurants.
No.
5 locations. Yeah, we had 3 or 4 airport locations, 5 brick and mortar, 2 locations on college campuses, and a handful of grocery stores.
Okay, and today it's everywhere. Can you give us the scale? Can you give us a scale at where it is today and the ramp up?
Today we're at 3 brick and mortar. So we actually grew to 8, but COVID, unfortunately, we lost a couple during COVID. But we have, at the end of August of this year, at the end of summer, we will be in 1,500 sushi counters inside grocery stores with our Take It In program. We'll be in close to 3,500 or maybe even 4,000, 4,000 grocery stores with our frozen product. We have 6 airports right now. Number 7 will open up this fall in Salt Lake City. Partnered with a dark kitchen program where we allow other restaurants to sell our food out their backdoor third-party delivery. And since we launched that in April of 2020, we have 700 locations across the U.S. and Canada right now.
Wow.
And we have hot food vending machines. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I tried it at NRA. You guys had the best booth, best people, and you had a little bit of everything. You had people cooking, you had the vending machine, you had tech, you had everything together. I think you guys had the best booth at NRA.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We showed off the 4 verticals that we do. We had the vending machine there. We have about 40 machines deployed across the country right now. We had our vertical for our grocery and grocery fresh. Then we showed off our non-traditional, and then we showed off the dark kitchen. So we had a lot of different things going on in the booth.
Okay, so you started here. Wow Bao's here, right? Like, there's a huge ramp. Looking back, it's a beautiful story. What was the vision back then, and how much did you have to pivot, or was this exactly what you guys had vision? Like how messy was the journey from back then?
The messy is always journey. I don't think anybody has a clean journey. And if you have a clean one, you probably aren't scaling as fast as you could. For us, we had the idea to do the dark kitchen. What happened was in late 2019, John Schulke, my partner from Valor, and I were talking about how do we want to grow the brand. And Valor owns other restaurants, and Lettuce has other restaurants. And during the conversation, a comment was made, why don't we just sell our product to these other restaurants for them to do third-party delivery? And it was like one of those light bulbs, like all the lights in the building flickered on and off at the same moment. It was like an aha moment. So we built out training materials, third-party delivery relationships, supply chain got more robust. And we launched in January of 2020 with 1 location. And then COVID hit and it became hockey stick growth, like once in a lifetime type of ramp up because nobody could do in-room dining, in-house dining. It was all delivery only. And people needed as much revenue as they could get. So we were set up for success. Now, as people are coming out of COVID and dining rooms are back and people are enjoying the restaurants as they should be, there is still this revenue center that is on still a major growth platform, and people are enjoying having that extra money. So we see a lot of opportunities still coming our way, and we believe there will be a lot more opportunities as we continue to grow.
I love that. And I love the Wow Bao journey. I think you guys are just, one of the things we try to do here at Lunchbox is like, hey, can we push the conversation forward? We try to do that. And I think no one does it more and better in food or food tech than Wow Bao. Like, you guys are doing some interesting things with Web3. People who are serving food don't go that far on their own. Usually a partner helps them. It seems like you guys have a similar ethos. Why go into Web3? Why constantly push the boundaries? Like, what's your mindset? What are you thinking? What are the conversations like within your, operating team?
Yeah, I just want to go back to your last question where you asked about how the journey is. We have an internal saying that we're building the plane as we're flying it, right? Like, we are all hands on deck all day, every day to make sure that our partners are successful. And, we make messes and we clean them up quickly. And I think that's what's important when you're growing an organization, is to recognize where the faults lay and figure out how to make them better. But for your question about getting into technology and taking on these different things, technology has always been important to me. 2010, we had self-ordering kiosks. In 2012, we had mobile gift cards where literally I can meet you on the street and text money to your phone so you can eat at Wow Bao. 2010. That company went bankrupt, so we don't have that anymore. But it was a great way as an emerging brand of people who never heard you. I could just meet you and send $5, $20 right to your phone, and it would work as a debit card off your phone.
Before Venmo. This is before Venmo.
This is way before. In 2017, we had fully automated front of the house restaurants where you'd order off of your iPhone or Android device or in our kiosks in house, and it was a wall of electric cubbies that were all animated with different things going on. And when your food was ready, your name would appear on the cubby and you would double tap, open it up and grab your food with zero human interaction. We had a couple of those stores. So we've done a lot with technology over the years. When we look at Web3 and the NFT space, what's been very successful for Wow Bao is that we've always been an adopter of technology early. And when you're an adopter of technology early, the first thing is you have the ability to help write the narrative of where that technology is going because you are literally out there testing it and giving feedback. The second thing is any technology in the restaurant space is not made by restaurant people. So we all have to conform our business to fit the technology. No matter how good that tech is, if you want it, you have to change your business. That's why the restaurant industry is slow to adopt technology. Mm-hmm. What I found is because we have this ability to be an early adopter is those people who create technology want our input and are willing to make changes to their technology because they see that we can help be a launching pad for them. So that's another reason to get involved early. When you look out in the next 18 to 36 months, as more brands enter the space, we will be so far ahead of them that we will be on to the next thing, or we will pave the way for those people to be that much easier to enter the space.
I love that. That's awesome, man. And it's awesome because, as a former restaurateur, watching you do that makes it safer for, other restaurants to do it because the margins are thin. The margins are so thin. It doesn't create an environment where, let's still have fun. And you guys seem to be having a lot of fun and testing a lot. And you guys have such good intention in how you guys are doing it. There's a lot of people who will dabble into things just for press. And you guys seem to always do it as a quickly so the second wave can have a better experience.
Yes. I mean, look, I will be selfish. There is a press angle to it, right? I mean,
sure.
Getting into the Web3 in the last 2 weeks, we have garnered an unbelievable amount of press. When you're early, you get the press, but you also get the headaches, right? So you are paying for that press somehow, some way. And yes, are we doing it to make it better for the industry? Are we doing it better to make it for us to get press? All that's absolutely true. But when you get involved with technology, the most important thing is, A, is it going to make the consumer experience better? And B, is it going to make your employees' lives easier? Either one of those and no, then I don't recommend using the technology. It has to work for both sides of the coin. And if it's going to make your employee job harder, then you have to explain to them why it's making their job harder. What is the ultimate benefit to come out of it? Yeah. If you get buy-in from your team, the world is your oyster, they say, right? You can go anywhere with it. You're too young to know who Ricky Bobby is. And the line in the movie is, if you're not first, you're last. And I just feel that's true when it comes to technology. The amount of energy and fun you can have by being early adopters of things is really, really exciting to us.
Absolutely. Thank you for revealing your age. Because, listen, we're both aging the same. There's a couple of years in between, but we're both aging the same. I'm just not aging well.
You're being better looking at it than I am.
Lies. All right, listen, you've been claiming you're a New Yorker living in Chicago. So we're going to do a quick quiz, pop quiz, real quick quiz. On the spot, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You're going to say New York or Chicago. All right, I'm going to hit you with different categories, okay? All right. First one, easy one. Who has better pizza?
New York.
Okay, good. Who has the better sports team?
New York.
Okay. All right. Who has better gangsters?
Probably Chicago.
Okay. All right. Fair. All right. One. Okay.
But I think New York's gangsters might still be alive. I think a lot of Chicago.
they still made it. They still passed it on. Who has better people?
Ooh, I got to tell you, Midwesterners are a different breed. It's funny when I go back to New York and I hold the door because you're supposed to hold the door when someone's walking in. You're stuck for 40 minutes because no one else grabs the door.
Yes.
In Chicago, you open the door for somebody, someone else is like, oh, I got it, and they'll let you through. In New York, you're stuck holding the door. So I thought Chicago is a cleaner, younger, more manageable New York. But New York has the vibe and energy that you will not find anywhere else, and I will always choose New York.
So you pick New York?
Well, the people, Midwest, nice people.
Okay, so he picks Chicago. All right, the comment section will be filled with hate from me and 2 other people. All right, let's do another one. Better Wow Bao members, better recruits, better employees, better team members. Geoff, answer correctly, sir. New Yorkers or Chicago?
I got to give a shout out to my current people.
Is everyone local?
Yeah, we're here in Chicago.
Okay, you want to get out of the office.
Don't do that to me.
We're almost done. Better weather.
New York.
What else? Did I miss anything?
You're going to ask about the hot dogs?
I feel like we have better hot dogs, right? Is that not clear? What's better hot dog?
There's nothing better than getting a dirty dish dog on the corner of New York City with sauerkraut.
Yes.
There's nothing better than Papaya's hot dog and Papaya King.
That's my cheat meal.
I will tell you, a Portillo's Chicago dog with all the fixings is pretty outrageous.
The spicy hot dog from Papayas with some ketchup and relish.
No
with
ketchup.
a Coke, a little bit ketchup. I'm young. I was born in
Oh,
'91.
yeah, Nathan's hot dog is the top of the line you'll ever find.
All right. That concludes New York versus Chicago. For the people that Geoff has devastated, or need therapy, or need session, or want to do a class action lawsuit, please, here's link my type form. Let's join in. I'm leading it. I already have lawyers ready. Geoff, thank you for playing that game.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope I won.
I think you did well. I think you answered like a New Yorker would, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think for that you will survive. I was hanging out with you brought your daughter to award ceremony.
Yep.
Thank God you won that night. Otherwise, that's embarrassing, right? Like no one wants to go hang out with their dad and he didn't win. And you did win. And I was talking to her and I was like, "Is he like? Do you know your dad's famous?" She's like, "I realized it like a year ago. He's famous." And then I was like, "Tell me what is
famous.
Huh?
Famous. How about well known? That's not
famous. Famous is the word I used, and she confirmed that she's now aware you're famous. And I was like, "How is he like at home?" And he's like, he's always. And I just this is not a question. This is more so a little bit about Geoff. He's always available. He's always around, and when he's not around, he's streaming our games and our events from the office. Why is that so important to you? How are you able to balance the two? Did it come with time, or you always were like family first and let's invest in that?
So you're going to get very personal here and you're going to make me answer questions you probably aren't ready to hear the answers to. But I lost my father when I was 8. And when I was 29, I lost my mother. And at 37-ish, I lost my sister. And family is important. You make time for your employees. All of us talk about how you have to make time for your employees. You have to make time for your family. You also have to make time for yourself. I mean, it's very important to remember to take time for yourself. You say that I'm very generous with my time. There's a story that I heard. I met 2 different people in my life. They explained to me how when they were both in college or grad school, they reached out to Richard Melman to ask him some questions. And Richard Melman, the founder of Lettuce, probably the hardest working man I've ever met in my life, took both of their phone calls separately. These might be years apart, I don't know. Gave them each 15 minutes, and how they then became somebody in the industry. And they always remembered the generosity that Rich gave. And what I've learned over time from just hearing that conversation was the hardest thing for us to give to people is our time. We're so busy. But the hardest thing for someone to ask for is your time. Because if you're too busy to give them your time, you just shot them down. They have heartache. It's a lesson that it's going to deter them from asking for help in the future. So when someone asks you for your time, you have to give it. And I'm not saying you give people hours of the day. Usually 5 minutes or 10 minutes will answer what they need. But it's going to mean more to that person than it's ever going to mean to us giving it. However, eventually, it's going to mean more to us giving it to them than it is actually for them to receive it. It just there's an inflection point where that changes. And for me to be present for my daughter's, basketball games or graduations or prom nights or birthdays, or just to have family dinner, and to be there for my son and take him to his basketball practice. And I'm going away to father-son sleepaway camp for 3 days. Shoot me in the head. But I'm doing it for him. These are things that we have to do. It's important for us. It's important for them. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's what we're all here for, right? We're all here to impact one another in a positive way. And if you lose sight of that, then we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And the only reason why I'm able to find balance, and this is important, is because I have a fantastic team. And I have my team's back when they need to go do things, and they have my back when I need to go do things. And it's important to recognize that everybody has a life outside of work, and everybody's struggling to find balance. And once you find that balance, you have to teach other people how to find that balance. It's hard. Not everybody wants the balance, but the balance exists if you find a way to it.
I don't really know what to say except that was so profound. I have my mind racing of all the things I can do differently as a leader and as a person at home because of what he just said. And I hope people who are watching take away something similar and are similarly at loss for words, which I'm usually not. I love that. I love that, and I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm sure that was not the easiest, but I just you're the man.
No, I appreciate it. Look, you only have your children at an age for so long. And my daughter's 24 now, and look, there's a period of time where your children love you, can't be without you, and then want nothing to do with you, but then they come back to you. And if you miss that part where they love you and can't be without you, and you fall into that phase where I don't want you around because experience independence, you don't understand me now, it's the rebel years, we've all been there. You've missed so much and you can't get it back. And it's not fair. It's not fair to them, and it's definitely not fair to us. Yeah. And growing up in the way that I did, you learn how important it is to have that person by your side. There's gonna be no greater cheerleader. No one's ever gonna have your back more than your parents will. They just won't. So you have to be that good parent to your employees and to your children and to your spouse or your partner, whoever it may be. You got to be that rock. And you got to find time for yourself. I've had a fantastic therapist for 23 years. Guys taking me from therapy to executive coach to life coach to now just, a steam valve where I can just open it up and explode and speak.
This person is the same person, or is
same person for all these
same
years.
Person?
I can't imagine starting over and having to vomit up my whole, get somebody up to speed, right? Like, this guy better never retire. But leaders need ways to educate ourselves, motivate ourselves, inspire ourselves, and be able to vent. And if you're a leader and you're not finding ways to keep yourself motivated, if you're not finding ways to educate yourself, if you're not finding things around you to inspire yourself, and you're not finding ways around you to release what we're dealing with, the old saying is lonely at the top. We don't have people to share with. I chair a CEO group for other restaurateurs, and that is an outlet for me to share and vent business side. But we all have personal side, and that's where my therapist comes in. And then education, inspiration, motivation. You gotta read, you gotta meet people, you gotta visit things, you gotta experience. That's how you become a better leader, and it's an everyday process.
I love it.
Podcast thought we were gonna have, everybody.
Listen, why have a podcast that anyone wants to have, but the ones that were your passion just poured out of the screen? I want to go for a run now. I'm just amped up listening to you, man. You're inspiring. I'm sure this took a long time, but you are great you're just a great friend, a great person at home, and are building one of the greatest brands a restaurant has seen. And I'm just appreciative to watch you do it, be around you in your orbit. And I'm just grateful for you to join us on this podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Nabil. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.